crucially important that the starting point of all of these conversations is that Ireland's legacy in terms of neutrality and having an independent foreign policy has served us incredibly well. I think it's something that we should be very proud of. And I think that, as I say, should be the starting point as we move forward. We need to recognise, of course, that there are challenges and there are things that we need to address, not least of which is the fact that we don't have a defence forces that's fit for purpose. We have very capable and very honourable members of the defence forces who have been doing their best under very difficult circumstances, but over the past number of decades they have been starved of the resources that are required in order for them to do an effective job. When the Taoiseach, he referenced 2 points in respect of, examples of the changing world. He mentioned the cyber attack in relation to the HSE, and he mentioned the fact that there was Russian vessels in our waters. In both instances, part of the responsibility obviously lay with others, but the responsibility for the failures lay in the fact that Ireland hadn't invested in the defence mechanisms that would be required to address those, both in terms of cybersecurity in the first instance, something that has been addressed, but also in respect of the fact that our Navy wasn't in a position to actually monitor and isn't in a position to monitor what's happening in our skies and seas. And that is something that we need to address. But as we move forward, I think there is a notion, I fear, that there is an inevitability that the world is moving towards greater conflict, greater instability, and greater disengagement. And the question should be asked, who is best placed across the world to actually play a role in actually preventing those things from happening? And I think Ireland, through our unique history of being former colonised as opposed to coloniser, which is relatively unique in Western European terms, our role is having very long-standing military neutrality and also having an independent foreign policy, and the role of organisations such as Concern and our NGOs and our very strong track record in comparison to others in relation to overseas development aid. All of those things should combine for us to have a foreign policy that is actually about ending conflict as opposed to participating in it. And I think that has to be central to the discussions as we move forward, because military neutrality, independent foreign policies should not be framed as weaknesses on the part of Ireland. They should be seen as strengths that we should all be very proud of.
Thank you very much.